Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you on The Bright Side, and we welcome your phone calls. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team by clicking on the Join the Team link for a one-time $25 fee. You can be in business for yourself. Call 866-735-2470 if you want to talk to a real person, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And let's see what else here. TruthTreatments.com for all our Truth Skin Health products, and TruthNourishment.com for nutritional supplement products. And I think that's it. TruthTreatments.com, TruthNourishment.com, BrightSideBen.com, CriticalHealthNews.com, and PharmacistBen.com. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side. We've got lines open for you, 844-236-6010. We've been talking about the stress response and estrogen's relationship to the stress response. I was just reading about estrogen here on Medscape. Estrogen therapy. Benefits and harms are tied to age. I was talking to my friend Amanda yesterday, and we're doing some videos, some YouTube videos on estrogen, and she's going through the change. I think I can say that. I hope I'm not revealing too much personal information about my friends, but anyway, she's going through the change, and the doctor wants her on estrogen for her bones. This is the silliness. This is doctor silliness. The idea of putting people on hormones for their bones, or the idea of putting people on hormones for their muscle mass. Hormones, yes, it's true, like androgens and estrogens, can have building properties or building effects. But building depends on health, and if you're not healthy and you jack the body up with hormones, you're going to have problems. So this is a study from the Annals of Internal Medicine. Results from randomized double-blind women's health initiative estrogen alone trial published today in the Annals of Internal Medicine. What did they find? They found a 32% reduction in mortality on estrogen replacement for some women. Now, this is not to say that this stuff is good for you. It just reduced mortality, whatever that means, from coronary heart disease, breast cancer, and coronary heart disease and from breast cancer. So they've got reduced mortality from a couple of disease states, but that doesn't mean that they're healthier for it. You cannot be healthier by taking a drug, period. You cannot be healthier by taking a hormone, period. It doesn't work that way. So anyway, according to the study, they noted that if you had a hysterectomy, you got benefits from your estrogen therapy. If you didn't have a hysterectomy, there weren't benefits. In fact, there was more toxicity if you were on estrogen replacement therapy without a hysterectomy. Now, if you're on a hysterectomy, okay, that means if you had a hysterectomy, that means you have no organ, no ovaries. You're not making hormones. I could see where just getting something in your system would probably be in your interest, maybe, and that's what they found on this study. But if you didn't have a hysterectomy, if you had a normal body, you didn't get the benefits. In fact, you ended up with toxicity. And this is, and not only that, but reduced mortality is also associated with toxicity. The resultant menopause and loss of estrogen has been linked with other health risks. So just because you take Just because you take estrogen and reduce your mortality doesn't mean this stuff is good for you. Estrogen is a stress hormone. It's a stress management hormone. It's associated with the stress response hormone. We'll put it that way. It revs the body up. This is why it's associated with cancer. It's associated with immunity, which we talked about yesterday. And the stress response is really what we want to learn to manage. Not hormonally, in my opinion, but mentally and with our lifestyle choices. One of the things that happens when we're under stress is we're going to eat. Stress and eating behavior go together. It's kind of like eating is like a coping mechanism for stress. Eating is like grooming behavior in animals. Animals, when they're under stress, will groom each other. Eating has a soothing action that has the bonus of activating reward chemistry in the brain, plus calories. And when I say eating, I mean calories. And calories are so easy to access. And you can't go 30 yards without a vending machine or a 7-Eleven. There's food everywhere. Everywhere there's food. And this is the first time in the last 50 years or so, 50 to 100 years, it's the first time in the history of mankind where we have food like this. The body just can't handle it. The body can't handle all these calories. This is why intermittent fasting, the ketogenic diet, low calorie diet, low calorie or calorie restriction with optimum nutrition always extends life. The body is not meant to eat so much food. By the way, when we crave food, we don't crave salads, we crave high-calorie foods. Nobody craves salads. And if they do crave salads, and by the way, if you're not eating salads and you want to eat salads, put oil on the salads. The oil on the top of the salad will make and spices, oil and spices together, will make the salad more satisfying. And I know, people talk about no oil. I don't say no oil. I say use oil medicinally, therapeutically, and carefully. I don't say no oil. That's throwing out the baby with the bathwater, in my opinion. Anyway, nobody craves salads unless they have oil in them because we crave high calorie. When we crave high sugar, high fat. So you want to hack into that by using good fat. And there's no really good high sugar, but you can do good fat. So stress is our constant companion in the 21st century. Stress is at least in the United States and probably in the modern industrial world, stress is our constant companion. A little stress is good. A little stress, as we said, or stress in short duration, in intensity but short duration is good. That the body adjusts to that. The body cannot adjust to the under the threshold drip, drip, drip stress that doesn't trigger a building response. When we have chronic long-term stress, low levels of stress, and the body's adaptive mechanisms haven't been triggered, the body becomes catabolic. It self-digests. It eats itself. There's not a single chronic disease state that's not associated with this. This is an underlying phenomena to all chronic degenerative diseases, is this elevation in stress response, stress hormones. So, and by the way, when we say stress, we're not talking about only about psychological or emotional stress. We're also talking about physiologic stress, and food represents a stressor. Yes, food represents the enemy getting into the body. The body mobilizes. When we eat food, that represents an emergency to the body. The body has to go through all kinds of activity and that's eating a salad. That's eating anything, let alone eating something that has literal toxins in it, literal synthetic flavor enhancers, so-called excitotoxins in it. So if you're dealing with a food problem, as in you can't stop eating, as an overeating or an obesity problem, or you can't stop eating the sugar, guaranteed underneath you're trying to somehow modulate or regulate the stress response. So what you want to do is you want to figure out how to regulate the stress response in a more constructive way. This is true about any addiction. Addiction. The reason why we can't quit smoking, quit opioids, quit food, quit sex, quit work, quit alcohol, quit whatever it is we're addicted to is because of the stress response. Just feel it. If you are smoking cigarettes or you can't stop eating food, or you have whatever addiction you have, just think about not having that cigarette and feel the stress response go up. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben, 844-236-6010. That's just thinking about it. You're listening to The Bright Side. We will return with more good health information right after this. Don't go away. Okay, we are back on The Bright Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lines open for you. We'll get your calls in our next segment, as we always do on the Bright Side, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, how do you deal with the stress response? If you have any kinds of health strategies that you use yourself, or psychological strategies, or stress management strategies, we'd love to hear them. And it is about stress management. It's not about stress, it's about stress management. Stress management involves context. Stress has to occur within a context of rest. When stress occurs at the right intensity within a context of rest, it's called eustress. EU stress. E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S. Eustress. EU is the common prefix, or the Greek prefix, for good. Good stress has enough intensity and occurs within a context of rest. It occurs within a context of a lot of rest. The body loves a little bit of stress, intense stress, with a lot of rest. This is being utilized by workout warriors today and trainers with a kind of physical therapy or training regimen called HIIT, high-intensity training. That's why if you want to work out, and you're more morbidly obese, you have never worked out in your entire life, and you're 50 years old, and now you decide you want to work out, you can get a great workout by walking up and down a couple steps if you do it with the right intensity. In fact, if you're working out now and you work out with weights, for example, and you do it slowly, you lift your dumbbells real slowly when you're doing your curls, for example, you'll notice that you can't do very many curls. If you ever see somebody doing sit-ups and they're just throwing their body up and they do 100 sit-ups or 50 sit-ups, you'll see sometimes people in the gym doing workouts really fast, like sit-ups really fast. They do 50 of them. Guess what? If you do sit-ups correctly, you can only do one. Or if you're really super strong and a super intense athlete and you do them correctly, you could maybe do 10 or 15 of them. If you're an average person, you probably can't even do one sit-up correctly, but you could do a partial sit-up correctly and work your way up. And this work your way up is really what it's all about. It's about working yourself up to certain levels of stress so you can handle more and more. That's true about your body, and that's true about your psychology too. We want to learn to handle more and more stresses by gradually working ourselves up. So high-intensity training takes advantage of that. If you're in the gym now, just do it one time. If you just do it one time, I guarantee you're going to get the best work. If you've never done it before, you're going to get the best workout you've ever had. Just do it one time. If you're on the treadmill and you're walking on the treadmill, instead of walking on the treadmill for 15 minutes, or instead of jogging on the treadmill for 15 minutes, try going at top speed for like 20 seconds, and then stop, and then walk, and then do it again. Maybe do it 3 times, 20 seconds, 25 seconds, intensely. You will get the best butt workout, leg workout, hamstring workout, glute workout, calf workout that you ever had in your life. And you could do it in 10 minutes. That's the beautiful thing about this idea of the body responding to intense stressors, is you save a lot of time if you're exercising. And if you're trying to leverage any kind of stress, and you do it with a certain amount of intensity, or do it with a certain amount of intermittency, that's another factor, you'll be able to leverage your time. You'll be able to leverage your action. You'll be able to get more bang for your buck. That's the beauty of this concept of high-intensity training, and that's the beauty of the body, of being able to understand the stress response and then leverage the stress response. I've been leveraging the stress response in the skincare business for 30 years. It dawned on me when I started formulating skincare products. I had a compounding pharmacy for the skin, and when I started formulating skincare products, it dawned on me that we could exercise the skin the way we exercise our muscles. That the same mechanisms that stimulate the growth of muscle tissue when you lift weights and connective tissue when you lift weights can do the same for your skin. You can exercise your skin and, in effect, get thicker, stronger, better skin. And the way you do that is by putting stresses on the skin. Now, there's lots of ways to put stresses on the skin. You can put stresses on the skin with a washcloth. That will put a stress on the skin. You can put a stress on the skin by shooting little crystals at the skin. You go to an esthetician now, or a salon, they'll have a machine that shoots little crystals at your skin. That's called microdermabrasion. Now they have microneedling, where they actually insert needles to put stressors on the skin. They stick needles into the skin, small, very, very small needles. And that puts a stress on the skin. The skin responds by growing, by getting bigger, stronger, better. Lasers now, they'll do that with lasers. But my favorite way to do it is with peels, with acid, I should say. with glycolic acid, alpha hydroxy acids. When alpha hydroxy acids first came out in a big way, they've been around for a long time, but when they first came out in a big way in the consumer world, this is in the 90s, early 90s, 1992 maybe, 93. This first product was called Fruition, Estee Lauder's Fruition. It revolutionized skincare because now we finally had an active ingredient that could do something on your skin that you could buy in the drugstore that was relatively non-toxic, couldn't hurt you. Glycolic acid, lactic acid, you guys have probably heard of that. These are food acids. These are fundamental molecules in nature. They're found in foods, and they do tremendous, and they're found in your skin for that matter. They're found in cells. Very benign and ubiquitous molecule. They're everywhere. But when you put them on top of the skin in a product, toner, cleanser, peels in the salon, you get these remarkable effects that are based on the fact that these acids put a stress on the skin. It's called hormesis, Hormesis. Hormesis is the idea that you can put stressors on the body like glycolic acid and lactic acid and get benefits. And when I say benefits, I'm talking about more skin, faster division of skin cells, more moisture factors, more collagen, more connective tissue, more of everything. Why? Because you're exercising the skin. You're putting a stressor on the skin. One of the common questions I get is, how often should I use glycolic acid? How often should I use alpha hydroxy acid? There's no answer to that. What you want to do is you want to make sure you're leveraging the intensity and the intermittency. That is, you want enough intensity so you go past the threshold of the stress response, and trigger the stress response, and you want to have it intermittent. You don't want to have it all the time. You need a rest period because the recovery, you're looking to get the recovery. The rest period is when the tissue grows. It doesn't grow when it's being stimulated. Your muscles don't grow when you're lifting weights. They grow the next day. They grow when you're sitting on your butt watching TV on your day off. Or if you're going to go every day, you do different body parts. Because you want to have a recovery period. You don't want to overtrain, likewise, with the skin. If you're using alpha hydroxy acids, for example, glycolic acid, lactic acid, you want to have a rest period. You want to make sure that you're taking days off. How long that rest period is, there's no way to know. That's where you have to kind of feel your own body, feel your own skin. And it all, by the way, has to occur within a context of exercise, of nutrition. You can't just exercise without nutrition. When you work out, your body uses nutrients. Working out causes a loss of nutrients. The good news is that under those conditions, your body will suck up new nutrients like a dry sponge sucks up water. Same with your skin. After you stress your skin or after you stress your body by working out, that's when you want to do your Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That's when you want to do your protein. That's when you want to do your EFAs. That's when you want to do your antioxidant nutrients. Your body will suck up those nutrients, the amino acids and the protein and the fatty acids and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine nutrients, the electrolytes, the B vitamins, everything you're putting in your system, your body will suck them up like a dry sponge sucks up water. And the same thing will happen on your face, on your skin. After you use an alpha hydroxy acid, use vitamin C. Your skin will suck up that vitamin C like a dry sponge sucks up water. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 at brightsideben.com. The archive page at brightsideben.com has all our shows with a search box. You can purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, also at pharmacistben.com, also criticalhealthnews.com. Got videos and blog posts and news stories at all our websites, and also you can check out our skin health products at truthtreatments.com. Got all kinds of specials going on at truthtreatments.com and new products as well, truthtreatments.com, and also truthnourishment.com for our nutritional supplement products. All right, got lines open, 844-236-6010 from the journal Circulation. A common blood pressure drug can cause diverticulosis, a bowel problem that affects many elderly people. The blood pressure drug or the blood pressure ingredient is called a calcium channel blocker. I should say the class of drugs. There's a lot of these calcium channel blockers. I remember when they first came out. First came out probably in the late 70s, early 80s, but I started working with them, not exactly when they first came out, but when they were still new. Procardia was the big one back then. Verapamil, I should say nifedipine is Procardia. You've seen that probably if you've been to the cardiologist. Verapamil. The big one now is Norvasc. These calcium channel blockers work by blocking calcium. When we think of calcium, when most people think of calcium, they think of the hardness of the body, and it's true. 99% of the calcium in the body is in your teeth and in your bones. However, a small percentage, maybe 1% of the calcium in your body is in the blood, where it acts as a major electrical stimulus for cells, especially heart cells, but all cells. All cells have channels. These channels, these openings into the cells, the channels are openings into cells, portals into the cells, doorways into the cells, gates into the cells. Cells have all these little channels around them and gates, and they're selective about what they'll take in. Calcium channels are channels that take in calcium, and as the calcium passes through, it generates an electrical charge. This is how cells get activated. And when calcium channels are activated, nerves fire. Blood vessels open or close, depending on which ones they are. Calcium channels can open or close. But the point I'm making is all the cells have calcium channels. And if you take a calcium channel blocker, you're not just going to be blocking heart cells, you're going to be blocking all the cells. When you hear the word blocker, as in calcium channel blocker, in the name of your drug, you're blocking something that's supposed to happen. That's not a good thing. So of course you're going to have other problems. Of course you're going to have toxicity. Of course you're going to have side effects. The whole art of pharmacy is to try to minimize the side effects, not to eliminate them. There ain't no way you're going to eliminate side effects or toxicity. You may not see them. You may not notice them, especially if you're really, really sick. It may not be big enough that you're going to notice a difference. And a lot of people take these drugs who are really sick, but there's no way you can avoid them. So when I read things like calcium channel blockers are associated with diverticulitis, can cause diverticulitis or diverticulosis, which is an awful, awful digestive health issue that could be life-threatening. Diverticulosis and diverticulitis are two conditions. Diverticulosis is when you get these pockets that form in your intestine. Diverticulitis is when the pockets become infected. Not good. The pain is not even possible to describe. It's beyond belief, the pain that people deal with. And yes, I can see why people take their intestine out if they're dealing with it, but you don't want that to have to happen. And it turns out that calcium channel blockers are associated with increased risk of this condition. And it also turns out that this problem of diverticulitis is especially prevalent in the elderly. Over 65% of the over 85s, according to this article, have this condition, diverticulitis. Anytime you have an intestinal condition, there's a really easy way to take care of it. Don't put anything in your intestine. Don't eat. Now, of course, you have to eat eventually, but be really careful what you have to eat. And if you have an infection, well, then you're going to have to do what you got to do. That's where you need the medical model, is once there's an infection in there, if you have diverticulitis, you want to avoid it, is the best way. Making sure you're doing fiber on a regular basis, grinding up flax seeds, making sure you're using nutritional supplements like magnesium and zinc, which are very important for the digestive system. And, of course, probiotics and fermented food, and eating less calories. Food needs to be respected, like medicine. They say, let food be thy medicine. Food is medicine. Whether we like it or not, food has medical properties. So when they say let food be your medicine, no, you don't have to let it. It's going to be your medicine, for better or worse. It's going to be medicine that will kill you, or it's going to be medicine that will help you. But food has to be treated like medicine. And you know what else, by the way? Skincare has to be treated like medicine too. That's why I started The Truth. That's why I developed my Truth treatments, is because skincare should be medicine. Food should be medicine. Skincare should be medicine. Anything we interact with that somehow interfaces with our body from the environment should be regarded as medicine, in the sense that it can have great effects, it can have wonderful nourishing effects or healing effects, but it has to be respected. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to the phones and say good morning to Chris. If I can get Chris here. See how this is working here. Hey, Jason, will you get Chris for me? I can't seem to connect up with him.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
There he is. Hey, Chris.
All right.
What's up? How you doing, buddy?
Skincare is not overnight. I mean, It's based on what we take internally, because just like you said, the skin does not react instantly. And
well, topically, there's a couple things that you can do. That for the most part, you're right, but there are a couple of things that can go on top of the skin that will actually that can actually migrate down to the cells that are underneath in a relatively short amount of time, within a day or two. So you can, if you know what you're doing, you can utilize the skin as a transdermal kind of transdermal route of administration into the bloodstream or into the skin.
This is why it's so important to keep a food diary, because you need evidence to find out what's going on with your skin, and you got to look back like a week, because chances are, if you do something wrong, like eat the wrong food, you may not have a reaction for like a week.
Well, no, it wouldn't be a week, but there'd be a time element, and you do want to see a pattern. But no, for your skin, once something gets into the blood and activates the immune system, it's going to show up in the skin pretty quickly, and it only takes a matter of hours for stuff to get into the blood. So you'll see things pretty quickly on the skin.
That's it.
But as far as growing skin goes, immunity's quick. But as far as growing skin goes, there's a little bit of time. There's going to be some time there, and you want to be loaded up with nutrients. Here's another thing about the skin, Chris, and in terms of nutrition, is your body will rob nutrients from the skin under deficiency conditions. It will reroute vitamin C, for example, under deficiency conditions from your skin to your heart. It will reroute zinc from your skin to your heart. It will reroute EFAs from your skin to your liver. I mean, the body will direct nutrients where they need to be. And so you can actually bypass or reduce the effects of that kind of rerouting response by using topical vitamin C. And loading the skin up with vitamin C topically, but it's still most skin nutrition has to be derived from foods. Your point is and supplementation. Your point is well taken.
Hey, can I call you another day? We got a lot to talk about.
Call me whenever you want, buddy. No problem. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it, Chris.
I'll call you another day.
Okay, Chris. Take care. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back after this. Bright side, 844-236-6010. Let's see what Don in Georgia has to say. Good morning, Don. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ben. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for calling. What's going on?
Really quick, I wanted to talk about dermatitis.
Okay.
I came back from a trip maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, and maybe 2 weeks after getting home, started developing this rash on my arms, which is now spread pretty much everywhere.
You never had it before? Never had a rash before?
Nah, nothing ever like this, never.
Okay, so rashes are one of two things, okay? Mm-hmm. They're either a contact problem, which is that's a medical way of saying a topical problem, like you rub something on there. Some people have problems with gluten, topical gluten. Some people have problems with construction workers will have topical issues with cement or concrete. You can have topical, obviously poison ivy, that kind of thing. So it can be, but that's rare. That's rare. When you have a rash, that's an immune reaction. If it's not topical, that means it's an immune reaction from the inside. It's either an immune reaction from the outside or an immune reaction from the inside, but it's an immune system reaction. Rashes represent defense. That's a protective response. A rash is a protective response. It's the cells responding to an offending agent with a defensive response. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's all rashes. And that's all on the skin, and that's all redness on the skin. Redness and rashes need to be regarded as a defensive response. Whenever there's a defensive response, what you want to figure out is what is the offending agent, and then eliminate it so that your body doesn't have to have the defensive response. So I'm going to assume it's internal, because if it's topical, you just got to get rid of whatever you're touching. That's easy. But internally, it's a little bit trickier because there's so many things that can trigger a defensive response. When we say defensive response, we mean the blood. Something's getting into the blood. How do things get into the blood? That's what you have to ask. You're not injecting them, I'm assuming, so we don't have to worry about that. Pretty much the only way things get into the blood for most people is through food, which makes perfect sense because that's where immune reactions are initiated, either in the blood or in the intestine, which is where the immune system is housed most of the immune system. That's the headquarters for the Defense Department, is the gut, the intestine. So it's either intestinal or it's blood. And if it's blood, it's probably intestinal. So it's basically an intestinal issue, which is to say food or digestion. Food or digestion. Okay?
Well,
so you always want to work on it that way. What's that?
Maybe absorption as well? Same thing?
Could be malabsorption. Now you have to be a detective. I'm pointing you in the right direction. Now you need to be a detective. You need to see when the rash. Flare-ups are always going to be your best friend in these kinds of conditions, because when you flare up, you can say, okay, what did I just do? Or what did I do recently in the last 6-7 hours? So flare-ups are always, you always want to look for flares. The flare-ups are major clues. If everything's steady all the time, then you have to kind of stop. You have to stop eating. If everything is steady, you have a steady state rash, psoriasis, eczema, steady state immune condition, then you have to fast for a couple of days and then eat again and watch where you flare. In other words, create a flare. Okay, make a flare happen by fasting and then reinitiate. It helps to reinitiate foods singly. And never, here's something really important, okay? And this is for everybody listening who wants to do this, who wants to connect food with a health challenge. Do not assume a good food or a bad food. If I hear one more person say with arthritis or with some kind of immune condition, autoimmunity or skin condition, say, but I'm gluten-free, I don't know, I'm going to scream. I hear this all, but I'm gluten-free. There's a million things you can react to. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I quit dairy. Yes, I haven't had dairy. It doesn't matter. You have a rash. There's something. I don't know what it is. It could be asparagus. It could be lettuce.
Right. Could be anything.
But I eat organic. It doesn't matter if you eat organic. It could be organic lettuce. So you know what I'm saying? Some avocados, for example. I had a friend who's has a problem with avocados. You know? So
because that was why I figured I said it's either got to be something intestinal inside, something maybe I came in contact with, like you said. Maybe an allergen in the house, maybe, or something like that? Or
no, you'd have some respiratory issues. No.
Okay, now I don't have any, but I feel great otherwise. Like
that's not a good thing. I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why that's not a good thing, that you feel great otherwise.
But I'm not sleeping.
Well, there you go. Now you're getting a little more accurate. See, we set the bar so low so that when you say you feel great, you feel great compared to how you could feel or have felt in the past. Right? So, but that's not great. If you have not sleeping and you have a rash, that means it's not like it's the end of the world yet. You're heading in the wrong direction. But, you get to set the bar on how good you want to feel. You get to set the bar on how much toxicity you want to deal with, or how many side effects you want to deal with, or adverse reactions you want to deal with. You get to set the bar on that. You want to go 100%? That's great. Then you can start working. Maybe you're okay with 90%. Maybe you're okay with 80%. Maybe you're okay with 50%. You know what I'm saying? You get to set the bar on how great you want to feel and how adverse reaction free you want to be. All right? Does that make sense, Don?
Okay. Yeah, it does. All right. And I think sleeping definitely has a...
Sleeping is a sign of it. If you can't sleep, there's a couple things going on. Cortisol is usually involved, stress response. Okay. The biggest, and insomnia is obviously a huge problem. The biggest problem with insomnia, the biggest cause of insomnia, is a health challenge that I've noticed that really smart people suffer from. You know what it's called?
What's that?
Overthinkitis. Is people can't stop thinking. We can't control our thoughts. And when you sleep, when you're during your day, you can do busy work. This is why people do busy work. So they don't have to listen to their thoughts, their incessant thoughts. But then you go to sleep, there's no more busy work to do. Guess what? Guess what's front and center? Your thoughts. That's why people say, I'm thinking so much. No, you're always thinking. You're just noticing it. That's why people can't meditate, is because when they meditate, they don't have any distractions. All of a sudden they notice, wait, I can't stop thinking. By the way, that's called your default mode network. Have you ever heard that term? The default mode network? It's a brain center that is linked to the incessant voice in your head, the DFM. They also call it the task negative network. And this network in the brain, the default mode network, causes people to kill themselves, literally, to blow their brains out with a gun or to hang themselves. It literally causes people to kill themselves. And it'll cause you to eat. It'll cause you to have low self-esteem. It'll cause you to be depressed. It'll cause you to not be able to sleep. This default mode network, it's a part of the brain. And we got to learn how to deal with this default mode network. And the way you deal with it is by not listening to the specifics, but by watching the phenomena. So when you're thinking, you want to watch thinking without paying attention to the specific words. Does that make sense? Watch what's happening with the thought process, the process itself. That's what meditation is. That's what real meditation is for people who can't meditate. And sleep is very similar. What you want to do is you want to start paying attention to your thoughts, not what they're saying. The thoughts themselves, how they arise and how they fall. That's how TM, Transcendental Meditation, does it. They don't tell you this specifically, but they're basically watching thoughts come out and down. And make no mistake about it, this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest mysteries in all of the universe, is how this thing happens. Nobody has any idea how it happens. They know what's correlated with it. They say, oh, well, this nerve fires here and this nerve fires there and this brain center fires when they think, when a thought happens, but they don't know what causes it, how exactly nerve firing gets turned into words and a thought. Nobody has any idea how that happens. And so it's a very interesting phenomena, and if you start paying attention to it, not only is it interesting from a scientific point of view or an investigative point of view, but it'll also help you completely relax, because that default mode network is what drives us crazy and causes us to do all the things we hate to do, including eat food, exercise, I should say eat food addictively, or take pain pills, or smoke, or all the things we do that are addictions or ways of controlling the default mode network. And if we can learn to do it in a healthy way, we can have much more effective lives. Anyway, that's my little high horse there. I hope that helps. Don, I want to see if I can get one more call in. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it very much. Phyllis, you get the last word. What's going on?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for taking my call this morning. I just wanted to check on my hubby. He has many things going on, but he just had lab work done, and the urea is a bit on the high side. It says 26, which
How
is
old
high.
is he? How old is he?
94.
Oh, my goodness. So you're dealing with a kidney issue at this point, and probably blood sugar. But you know what? I wouldn't even, unless it's really significant, super significant, certainly don't drug him for it. Is he doing okay? Does he have energy, and is he?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of energy, no, because he has gone through heart surgery, and he's gone through a number of cancer things.
Is he on Beyond Tangy Tangerine?
He is. As a matter of fact, our son got that and said, you know what, Mom, I think you and Dad both need this.
You definitely need it. You definitely need it. There's a lot you can do. More protein, but small, in small portions. Exercise, slow, deep breathing. For somebody like him, for a 94-year-old man who's, I would be saying the super, super basic stuff, like the breathing and then basic Mighty 90 essential nutrients, and eating only when he has to eat, and staying away from foods that are highly processed or have a lot of sugar. The super, super basics for him. I wish I had more time. Send an email to ben@ksco.com, Phyllis, or call back tomorrow, and we can finish up. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.